marshals are asking for visors down on all the drivers. We've still got some pedals being adjusted before we get started. And it's time to let the race begin. The pedals are adjusted right to the end of that race start there. Julia is out on pole in front and in second place there, shaking their head as they head into the first corners. They're going to get pushed through to keep that place there as Alfie Slater manages to hold on in fourth there. Julia goes round into Dog's leg there with a little bit of a gap to second place, who's having to already go defensive on Tom Shipman, who's trying his best to get past. I believe it's Lewis Blench in second, who's got Tom Shipman all over the back of his car. Lewis Blench is going side by side with Julia into the centre S's, and it's going to get a little bit of a tap from Tom Shipman. Nearly made the position go through there, pushing it past Julia, but Julia manages to hold off. They're about to go too wide into the Dunlop chicane. Lewis has to pull out there, and luckily there is no contact or anything chaotic happening on lap one, apart from Barry Lakes nearly trying to send it round the outside of Jamie Sherman Chase there. But as we head down to Gasworks, there's a little bit of a tap on the back of Julia there, and nearly an overtake made by Lewis Blench, but he's had to slot back in as he heads round to the horseshoe, which allows Tom Shipman to push him through that corner as well. Alfie Slater does need to get past Tom Shipman though if he does want to get some more points in this race for his junior championship. And as we head across the line, Julia's having to go defence. She defends really late from Lewis Blench there, and Alfie Slater's trying to go around the outside on Tom Shipman. Nearly makes it stick, but Tom Shipman knows how to defend here, with this being his local track, which allows the driver behind Alfie Slater to get a little bit of a sniff on an overtake there. Lewis Blench is a hell of a lot closer on Julia now, with Tom Shipman trying to get past Lewis Blench there. The current order is Julia, Lewis Blench, Tom Shipman, Alfie Slater, James King, John Metcalf, Callum Bengelow, Louis Canlett, Ashton Lupton, Matthew Clark, Chris Phillips, Blake Hudson, Junaid Jones, Adam Gudgeon, Jamie Sherman Chase, Barry Lakes and Bobby Jamber. So we're heading into the Dunlop chicane. There was a little bit of a tap from Alfie Slater onto the back of Tom Shipman, and on the back of there is James King coming into this battle, with the current fastest lap of the race is set by Ashton Lupton down in 9th place, and down the inside does go Lewis Blench, tries to make a move which allows Alfie Slater to get alongside Lewis, but just is in the wrong place at the wrong time to make the position stick, and Tom Shipman had to back out there as it would have resulted in a crash. James King's right behind there. You've got Joel Metcalf who's dragging along Callum Bengelow right behind him. As we're heading into the first corner, Alfie Slater's managed to get past Tom Shipman there. He's now up into 3rd place, and now James King is going to have to try and catch up to Tom Shipman, but he's got Joel Metcalf right on his backside with Callum Bengelow there as well to join the party, and Julia is getting tapped through the corner as Alfie Slater is already pushing Lewis Blench through those corners and down the straights. He's got an absolute pace of a rocket in this race here. As they head into the centre S's, Julia is looking over her shoulder. Lewis Blench is trying his best to stick to the back of it, but Julia comes out the corner perfectly, and Alfie Slater, look at that, the gap between him and Lewis is closing by the seconds. They head down the back straight there. Is Alfie going to be able to get a sniff onto Lewis Blench? I don't think so, because he's got the toe from Julia. Is there going to be any contact going into this corner? He tries to make a move, but it just doesn't stick. Can Alfie get to that inside to make a move on Lewis Blench? I don't think he can. He goes single file round the horseshoe there as they head into the paddock bend. This is allowing Tom Shipman to catch up to the back of his pack. This isn't his battle, as he's got James King right behind him, closing down the gap. The gap between them four was less than 2 tenths. It's now down to around about 1 tenth as Tom Shipman is starting the train that he once had before. Here we go, down into dogleg here. It's 3 to a bumper for that top 3 position, and it's 6 to a bumper for Tom Shipman just behind. Tom Shipman though, he was catching for a second, but he's had to back off as James King has started tapping the back of Tom Shipman. He's gone all defensive back there, and it looks like Alfie Slater does have the pace on Lewis Blench, who's getting held up by Julia, obviously, who's defending, and down the inside goes Alfie Slater and Lewis Blench in out the exit of the centre S's, allowing him to gain the position before the Dunlop chicane, giving him up into 2nd place. So goes Julia, there goes Alfie Slater, then Lewis Blench, and now Tom Shipman is right at the back of Lewis Blench. This has gone from a 3-car battle to now, I believe, a 9-1, and down the inside goes the driver smashing out the way. I believe that was Ashton Lupton making a move there. There was a hell of a lot of contact, and there's more contact still going back further on. When they cross the line, we'll let you know which driver that was in particular. There was a hell of a lot of contact making that move there, and I believe it was the driver in 34. which it was Louis Canlett, apologies, who made that move there with the contact. As we go back to the front of the grid, there's still bumper to bumper. There's a little bit of a gap forming in the Tom Shipman train as James King managed to make a move on Tom Shipman there in that lap. And down the inside goes Julia, having to defend, and through is about to go James King into the centre S's for second place. James King, in a matter of corners, has managed to go from 5th to 2nd. But can he hold it? With Lewis Blench right behind, I'm not sure. As they're about to go 3 wide behind with Alfie Slater. It's gone 2 wide, it's gone 1 wide. As Alfie Slater's gone wide into the tyre barrier, and there's a crash. And tyres are spewed across the track, and Alfie Slater was stuck in a 3 wide battle going into the Dunlop chicane with Tom Shipman and another driver. And sadly, he's come out worse in the situation. With tyres swung across the track, it's gone to a full course yellow, I believe. No, it's the first half of the track. The bottom end of the track, round Haddock Bend, is still green. But the rest of the track is currently under yellow conditions. So everyone is side by side going to this first corner. However, it's about to go, oh, we're back to green. Overtaking is back on. So here we go as we come down into the dog's leg. It's 3 wide once again with that Joel Metcalf and Tom Shipman battle there. But Joel Metcalf comes out in front, managing to hold position just in front of Tom Shipman there. And right behind them after that, it looks like Ashton Lupton is in that battle with Colin Bengelo as well. Them two are fighting just behind. But out in front now, Lewis Blench is looking to try and make a move on James King there. As they head into Dunlop chicane, we're going to head down the back straight. He's going to have that toe, remember, but also Julia's just in front. She won't have a toe, obviously, because she's the leader of the pack. So they're all going to bunch up once again as we head around these final few corners. And Tom Shipman was definitely taking that corner a hell of a lot tighter than Joel Metcalf was there. I think that man is eyeing up an overtake if I know him well. But Callum Bengelo is right behind, ready to take advantage of any sort of chaos that is about to happen between those two. And as we cross the line, we'll give you a quick update on positions as Alfie Slater manages to make up another position at the back of the field after the chaos that happened into the Dunlop chicane. So your current order is Julia, James King, Lewis Blench, Joel Metcalf, Tom Shipman, Callum Bengelo, Ashton Lupton, Chris Phillips, Blake Hudson, Louis Cantlett, Barry Lakes, Alfie Slater, Matthew Clark, Sinead Jones, Adam Gudgeon, Jamie Shone Chase and Bobby Jambo. Joel is still holding on to that train in 4th place, I believe that is, but Tom Shipman has just veered towards the inside of traps. They head into the centre S's. He nearly goes for an overtake, but he's nowhere near along enough. And there goes Callum Bengelo down the inside as they come around the corner. The track's yellow. There's no overtaking. Tom Shipman has lost the position to Callum Bengelo just as the track goes yellow, where the tyres are on track. Absolutely brilliant overtake from Callum Bengelo, making the overtake done before he got into the yellow section of the track. Tom Shipman is going to have to work his way back after that, as Joel Metcalf is definitely going to keep this train going. So they head round into the horseshoe. Tom Shipman did eye up the corner there. He did go slightly tighter, but didn't go for any sort of move. He's nowhere near close enough. Because we're heading onto the main straight. See what the gap between 3rd and 4th. So it's currently, it's about 1 second between 3rd and 4th, between the two trains that are currently on track. And we're about 7 laps into this race, so if my counting is correct and timing, there's about 5 more laps left of this race. Joel Metcalf still defending. Tom Shipman's gone down the inside of Callum Bengelo, which allows it to open up for, I believe it's that Ashton Lupton to come through as well.
That's definitely going to get me a collar to that one.
It looks like it. Callum Bengelo slowly falling down the field there. He was in the wrong place at the wrong time as they headed out at St. John's there. Tom Shipman, absolutely impeccable kart placement, allowing him to get back behind Joel Metcalf and have another go to try and get that overtake done on the driver in front. But right behind Tom Shipman, they're trying, but it doesn't look like they're able to get the overtake done. They're heading into the horseshoe now, bumper to bumper. Tom Shipman is going to be looking over his shoulder ever so slightly, because I presume the driver behind is going to take a slightly tighter line to try and get in front. He doesn't. Tom Shipman has to go defensive. Joel stays on that driver's line, but Tom Shipman does not have the toe. Is Tom Shipman going to lose this position to Ashton Lupton as they come round the corner? He doesn't, because they all start battling behind, and Callum Bengelo manages to get an overtake done on Ashton Lupton. back out in front, it's still 3 apiece. We've got Julia out in front, James King, and then Lewis Blench. They're all about 0.3 between each other. That gap does not seem to be changing. There's only about 4 laps left of this race. I'd imagine if James is doing what I think he's doing, James King is going to be working with Julia to try and pull himself away from the rest of the field, as he's currently top of the lightweights and Julia is currently top of the juniors. As we're heading down into Gasworks, Tom Shipman has to look over his shoulder ever so slightly. Callum Bengelo was getting ever so close there. He's getting even closer as they head round the horseshoe here. He tries his best not to tap the back of Tom Shipman. He doesn't want to give him any advantage and disadvantage any part of his car. He tries to go tight coming out of this exit here. Tom has to defend straight away, but he's going to have that toe. He looks behind him to double check that no one's there. And Callum Bengelo tries to make a move, but Tom has got the position well covered up as they drive into the blaring sunlight. I can barely see what's happening, so God knows what they're seeing out track at that turn 1. Joel has lost a little bit of time there to Tom Shipman, so he's gained a little bit bringing that train along with him. And Alfie Slater has managed to make his way all the way back up to 9th and is currently the fastest driver on track with a 1 minute 7.575. Tom Shipman's really closing in on the driver in front, just like Lewis Blench is currently doing to James King back at the front of the field as they head down the back straight. Is he going to try and make a move? Let's see if he goes for it. He was doing it earlier, but that's how he lost his first place position earlier when he managed to get it earlier on in the race. Joel Metcalf has to really look behind him now. Get some mirrors put on that car, Joel, because Tom Shipman is here to play with Callum right behind. They're ready to get this overtake done. That gap is well and truly closed down on the past few laps, and Tom goes defensive. Joel has got no toe every single lap. They're working together to push towards Joel. Joel's got nothing he can do down that straight. He's got that massive disadvantage of no one punching a hole in the air, while the rest of them work together to try their best to get closer to Joel. And that lap there, they are only... There's absolutely nothing between them. There is now 0.3 between Joel and Tom, and Callum Bengelo manages to make a move on Tom Shipman there, getting through, putting him now up into 5th place. Joel, though, is still managing to hold that train off, so he's nothing to worry about. All that battling happening behind us. What he wants everyone battling, and Tom, I'd imagine Tom Shipman won't let the battling finish. He wants to get back to Joel Metcalf. He wants a place at the front of that train, but he doesn't seem to be able to do it. He's defending every single lap, which obviously is losing that toe from Joel. But Callum Bengelo, look at this, going around the horseshoe. Look at how he's able to hold on to the back of Joel there as they head out this final corner. He's going to try and make the overtake safe, but that is the end of the race. And as they cross the line, it looks like Joel just managed to take it off Callum. So your final running order for that race there was Julia, James King, Lewis Blench, Joel Metcalf, Callum Bengelo, Tom Shipman, Ashton Lupton, Chris Phillips, Alfie Slater, Blake Hutton, Louis Candlett, Barry Lakes, Junaid Jones, Matthew Clark, Jamie Sherman Chase, Adam Gudgeon and Bobby Jones. There we go. That was a great race, wasn't it?
It was really good. I really enjoyed it. I mean, managed to get a gap with James and Lewis, and then we just kind of all drove off together, but it was really nice.
Yeah, it looked like you very much went into work together mode halfway through that race, and that gap between you three and the rest of the grid was crazy. So the pace you were all on was ridiculous. So well done.
Thank you.
Perfect. All right.